Welcome back to Pro League, everybody, here live at the Next Arena. We just had a pretty big upset here. Gumio able to take out Classic on Bonnie Research Station, going to tie everything up 1-1.
Yeah, and I have to say, it was a pretty strange game from start to finish. 3 Reaper, harass, opening into a Mass Oracle follow-up, and Gumio just made Mass Marines and stemmed and killed him. It was weird. It was interesting, but definitely not one of my recommended VODs.
Yeah.
Let's move on to this.
If you're a Gumio fan, maybe go ahead.
Yeah.
But here we have INnoVation, 13-4. Has only played 3 games against Zerg in Pro League, but he is a destroyer of Zergs in individual leagues outside of his Star League play against Biel.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing really well versus Biel, but unfortunately just kind of made some key mistakes, like forgetting his +3 armors, and Biel just having some good decisions in the late game and just having that endurance to be able to beat a player like INnoVation.
Yeah. I'm glad we get that nice break before we're about to burrow down for what I would expect to be a very long game unless Losira tries to end it early.
And no doubt he will. Losira has won many of those 6 games versus Terran with Roach all-ins and timings. I think we're going to see something like that from him today.
Yeah.
I have no confidence whatsoever in Losira's late game versus INnoVation's mech.
No, I
don't have it. I don't see it.
I don't want to see it. If I'm Losira, I'm definitely going for it. If I'm INnoVation, I'm making a tank first. I'm playing a bit safer, you know. INnoVation actually did go down to Losira in 1 game in round 2 of this season. And no doubt it was one of those games that looked kind of like that, a pretty short one. Losira looking pretty ready to get into this game. So is INnoVation. Let's jump into game number 3 here on Terraform. Up here in the top left in the orange, the Terran player from SK Telecom T1, it is INnoVation.
To the bottom right for MVP, it's Losira. One of their MVPs earlier on this season, but has fallen off quite a bit.
Yeah. We talk a lot about Losira's posture, how he looks like he's going to kill the guy in the other seat. But that's probably not going to be too good for his neck, don't you think, Wolf?
Maybe not. I'm definitely not the guy to talk to about posture. Mine's also terrible, so.
Well, that's why I figured I'd talk to you, you know. Maybe you guys could bond on some level.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know if I sit quite like that, but
yeah, you don't. You're kind of like bent. You're like a slanted kind of posture guy where you lean to one side. I'm a little bit like that too.
It's also just because I need a new chair at home, to be totally honest.
Yeah, I've sat in some of those chairs. They lean every different way.
Yeah, they're pretty messed up. Got to get a new chair. I'm moving soon, so I want to take care of everything.
New
all
house,
once.
new chair.
New house, new chair, new life.
Ooh, seems
He
came to get 2 people's signatures.
He's got 2 signatures left to get, so I think is what he's trying to say.
Well, that could also be translated as just like 2 people, 2 strangers.
I guess you're right. We'll never know.
We'll never know. Maybe someone can translate it. We'll talk to Kenzie.
But you know, if Losira is going to do an all-in, it becomes pretty predictable on this map, right? Because INnoVation knows he's the better player overall. He's the master of mech on this map. Like, if we didn't see INnoVation on this map for SKT, I'd be like, well, I don't know. I mean, he doesn't even have to worry about Star League anymore since he lost to Biel, so it's no longer a concern of, well, I don't want to show my strategies, I don't want to show my builds. It's just, this guy is the best Terran in the world at mech on this map. It's incredible that Biel was able to defeat him, but he made a lot of mistakes. But it was one of those matches that was going until midnight, so it was a bit of an endurance issue perhaps. But I feel like when you look at this map, the Zergs that have won it, you look at Biel and you look at Rogue, they both did it with heavy Viper play, and I think that's kind of the answer. And I think that building a high Viper count and constantly utilizing them to kill expensive Terran units to deplete the bank is the way you're going to win in this matchup.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I mean, Rogue kind of mixed it up a bit. He also used the Flying Locust. I don't think those are the key units in the strategy, but also an interesting touch. Definitely something that the Terran would never expect, as we never see it these days. But yeah, for sure. I mean, even on this map, there's a lot of different cliffs, a lot of different, line of sight blockers as well, so you can kind of protect your Vipers a little bit easier on this map compared to some other ones.
Sure. It's important to not allow the Terran player to get to split map, and if you can help it, avoid allowing the Terran to get a bank that's big enough to add those extra starports and go triple BC production.
That's a good point, actually. I want to bring up another game we saw lately. Dark went up against Terran. I forget who it was exactly on this map, but once the Terran tried to take that 4th base, immediately Dark invested in like a ton of banelings to take it out. You know, the planetary, the gold, he's like, no, that's not happening. It's just not happening.
Yeah.
Even if you have to invest like a huge amount into it, I think it is worth it, as you said.
There's definitely a lot of ways you can handle that base. And banelings is, all things considered, a somewhat cheap way of doing it. I mean, it is expensive, but it's going to be worth it in the end because the mech player can't counterattack you and punish you for trading a bunch of banelings in. If you try to go big mutas or something to kill a planetary, it's too risky with all the Thors and turrets around. Banelings somewhat more difficult to deal with, especially if the mech's out of position. Planetary can't lift and run away, so it will blow up if you can connect with it.
I think the map was going up against Bio, though, so it is a bit different, but the point still stands. You want to not let the Terran get to that point in the game.
If a Terran gets 4 bases and gets BCs out, or gets a 5th base and then gets BCs, you know, you're going to struggle to deal with it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we are going to see that normal-ish opening here with Marines coming out, actually, a few of those. So that may lead into a bio opening. I hope not for INnoVation, because I feel like his bio play in recent times has been a bit weaker than his mech play, especially we saw him try to do bio versus Biel. He got crushed.
I don't want to see him do that. I mean, you're on Terraform, you play mech. You're INnoVation. You're playing mech, okay, INnoVation? You listening to me? No bio, please. By the way, did you see the timing on that scout with the SCV? INnoVation? The second the hatchery went down, the SCV was there. This guy has got it down to a T. He knows exactly what's going on.
Clearly a lot of practice on this map in particular. Probably his favorite map right now, I would say, in this matchup. It's interesting to me that we see MVP send a Zerg here. I mean, yeah, I get that Losira is good at all-ins, but this is INnoVation we're talking about. Marine production continues, though. At up to now 5 Marines and a 6th one on the way, and a hellbat timing might be on the cards here.
Looks like it. Maybe he was trying to scout that 3rd base and say, okay, if he's going 3rd base, I can just go for a straight-up hellbat all-in. You know, as you said it before, this guy is probably very practiced on the map, and he knows the different timings. Maybe he's done this a lot in practice, and he's like, if the Zerg ever does this, I can definitely go for it. Unfortunately, this Overlord is going to get a really nice scout.
Not on the armory, but we'll see a tech lab on the barracks, which is kind of suspicious at this timing. It's not like a Banshee timing, so he's probably thinking, do you have a 3rd CC somewhere, or are you going for a hellbat timing? Baneling Nest is so early here for Losira, extra safe, so he will be prepared for hellbats if he has banelings out in time. And it is going to be a 3rd CC behind this. This could still, of course, be a mech follow-up, but we're going to have hellbats and Marines for this insanely powerful timing attack, especially the Marines could be behind those hellbats.
I'm not sure Losira has read this. He's making, well, he made 5 drones on the back of this, and now he's desperately trying to get up a bunch of lings and morph the banelings right now. If INnoVation can find those banelings, or even just get a nice split here, he's got so many hellbats.
Yeah, and there's very few lings to support the banes as well. Already a decent split, and all these baneling hits not getting what they want. Blowing up on Marines here and not the hellbats. More hellbats coming in to reinforce. You know, it looks like he might be able to push this back, but he's using so many drones.
Yeah, 9 of them already going down. A lot of them very, very low in the red.
Oh my god, those hellbats. Those drones are all in the red. You can just get on top of them with this drop.
Oh, that one hellbat. Oh! Getting just 1 kill, and that one is going to be surrounded here. Gonna try to go into the main now. He can't get a really nice position here in between the minerals, and Losira having trouble dealing with this, as there is actually another hellbat in the 3rd at the same time.
The Vikings even getting involved now because there's no queen here, and so he's just continuing to do damage.
Oh, look at the micro here. Drops it behind the other one, who's actually blocking that hole in the minerals. As we said before, INnoVation's probably done this once or twice.
Yeah, maybe like once or twice or 2 million times. 1 Mutalisk out to help deal with this. He's got 3 more about to pop, but look at this, even Viking on the ground, 4 kills in total.
It's pretty cute.
But the follow-up is going to be the mech after all.
He's not microing this medevac. That's a pretty big mistake. Probably could have saved those units. But
oh, absolutely.
Now there's a Banshee.
Yeah.
And Cloak. It's about to finish. There's no Overseer.
And so, therefore, there's no mining at this 3rd base.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is starting to be way too much damage. I mean, actually, it kind of has been for a while, but with the mech follow-up, this is just so terrifying for Losira. Worker count is 55-42 in a Terran's favor. With +1 on the way, he's got 2 Thors about to pop with Viking production to help zone, and he's got turrets and a third base flying over. Things couldn't be worse for Losira right now.
Yeah. He didn't have to kill Losira with that, as you were saying. He essentially just had to do critical damage to get himself far enough ahead so that Losira could not punish this mech. And once INnoVation gets off here and gets on that third base, eventually gets into that fourth base, I don't see Losira having a good time of this.
No, I don't think so. You know, you said earlier it's just like his response was wrong. He didn't read it properly. His banelings were just too late. If he had 12 banelings just a few seconds before and a few more Zerglings instead of drones, he could have been able to stop that pretty easily because he had the production. He had the larva. He had a fast baneling nest.
Yeah, exactly. But just a bit of a misread there. Didn't quite get all the information. Maybe if he had seen the medevac pop out, maybe it would have been that slight little bit of information where he's like, oh, you're going for something here.
Yeah. Well, a second armory about to finish. +1's already done. Losira just now starting his 1-1 upgrades. 2 more factories coming up. A ton of Hellions to support these Hellbats and Vikings. And once he actually gets enough of these Vikings, he might just be able to push across and kill more Overlords. Because the Mutalisk count is pretty low, and he knows that.
Yeah, and these Mutas not going to have much use as we get later on here against the mechs. So Losira just trying to find as much damage as possible. So they're going to be in pretty low number for now. We do have the gold base coming down here for Losira. He wants to get pretty far ahead of this mech, and he knows he's a little bit behind from that early game, and I think taking that gold base is a good idea.
I agree. And these Hellbats are going to go over here and find it, though. Oh, they're Hellions currently, which is actually not bad because they have escape potential and can obviously do a lot of damage to those Lings with some good kiting. He does scan to see maybe I should send those Hellions into the main base, into the natural.
Wants to see exactly what's there and maybe get a good read on it. Terraform, one of those maps where you do have that extra path from the south for INnoVation.
You also might want to see, do we see an infestation pit yet? Can I just push across the map and kill him with Vikings? Can I just fly my Vikings across the map and kill every Overlord? We've seen a lot of Terrans do that recently. Maru did that once, and INnoVation did that as well, I think, in the series versus Bill. It's just like, if you get to this point where there's no more mutas being made, you can just send them across the map, ignore queens, and kill every Overlord. It just hurts the production so much. He's going to scan the main base. He might even try to drop those Vikings in the main base or something like that. He keeps scanning. I don't know what he's looking for. He's trying to find out, are you making roaches? What's your timing of your hive? All these things, I suppose.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's going for, it seems. I think he also, with that first scan, as you mentioned, probably going to see what the tech was coming out here, but I mean, Zerg's playing pretty similarly against mech these days, can kind of expect this transition into hive. Maybe he's like, oh, you don't have your hive coming yet. I can be, a bit happy about that. Let me take my fourth base here very, very safely.
I feel like INnoVation can almost be aggressive. He's not using his Vikings aggressively. He's just going to play like the robot that we know him to be and just, do the next step. He's like, oh, I can't die. I move across, take the base.
Yeah. He's like, I'm very far ahead. Let me get further ahead by taking this gold. And there's really what that early game did for INnoVation was give Losira no chance to take down that fourth base or really put on any pressure. And this is INnoVation's comfort zone. You said it's probably his favorite map. I wouldn't doubt it. In the entire pool right now, it's his favorite style. He's looking good today.
He really wants to kill those mutas. Losira sees the scan and is going to run them away. It's only 4 mutas. But the thing is, if he doesn't kill those 4 mutas, it makes it a lot harder to do Hellbat drops. So I think that's kind of the issue. He's like, well, I guess no drops for now. Those mutas are still out here. He is finally actually moving across, posturing aggressively here with a ton of siege tanks. But he's going to need more support than them if he's going to actually move that far forward.
Yeah, also some kind of anti-air as well. I think the Thors are back here trying to deal with this. Oh, just barely gets that lift, and the Lings are going to do nothing.
Yeah, 2-2 on the way here for Losira. And a few of these Lings get in. INnoVation will need to bring those Hellions back to respond.
Yeah. Lings, in fact, doing something, but they could have done a lot more if the Thors were not in position. Well, INnoVation sitting here maxed out.
Yeah, Losira's maxed as well, but his comp is worse. He's getting Hydra speed. He's getting a few of those Vipers out.
Everything is just so much later for Losira. He doesn't have the necessary tools to stop this mech push that's coming right now. In fact, INnoVation finally looking to get aggressive as he hits max. I think he's got a good feel in this game as well. He knows he's pretty far ahead.
All right, Hellbats to zone. Siege tanks finish things off. The Mutalisks are gone now.
Finally caught him.
Grab those mutas, man. And A big Roach counterattack is heading across the map. This Hellion will spot it, though. INnoVation is playing very timid, and this is going to give an opportunity to Losira to actually, you know, eventually just get a huge bank and get all these bases up for free.
Big Hellion run by a bit of a miss micro there on the road, just going the wrong way. Going to pick up 10 drone kills on that gold base. Not bad. Wants to trade out those Hellions anyway for more tanks, and eventually BCs and possibly Ravens.
Yeah. Fusion Core's on the way, plus 5 starports this time. He's going to go up to 6. That's how ahead he is, and that's how much space Losira has given him, and the bank he's already been able to build. They're talking about this, you know, this is the scary part. Can the Zerg prevent the Terran from getting to BCs? That's one of the ways you can win in this matchup. I mean, we're at sub 20 minutes. We're just now hitting the 19-minute mark right now, and the Fusion Core is nearly completed. This is not going to be an ideal engagement. No other way to say that.
Yeah. Well, I guess you can trade out some more supply for more Vipers, perhaps. There we go, 2 more on the way. But yeah, as you're saying, as we were saying before, with the meching Terran this far ahead, you can just make these transitions so much safer, so much easier, so much earlier, even. And INnoVation still looking very comfortable. Losira now trying to take every base on the map. I think it's a pretty good idea once they get ahead. Oh, he's going to catch out 3 Thors for here for free.
Yep, grabbing them again. And INnoVation's just going to replace them, actually. Not going to make the BCs yet. He's getting building armor right now. Building plating, if you will. And this Overlord just barely creeping this base up before the CC gets there. Kind of annoying. Actually making more hellbats. He just wants to build a bank first. He doesn't have one yet, so I can understand that.
That Overlord got wrecked, man.
Superb Ling under there, though.
Is there really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cute.
So he's still not going to be able to land it yet.
Losira known for these little things to try to get ahead of his opponents.
Well, Corruptors are something we see a lot of the time on this map as well, in this stage of the game. Overseer is going to get wrecked as well. The Vikings are just crushing everything. They have +3. And don't forget that these 6 evolution chambers that you see on the map are going to be great for the Vipers, but oh man, he cannot be flying them into turrets. Good blinding clouds here.
Yeah, really fantastic blinding clouds, and the army of INnoVation is very out of position here. Pretty late repair as well. The planetary is going to go down.
Yeah, and he's actually just flying Vikings over this army, so he's getting free Viking kills too. This is an incredibly good trade for Losira, and those tanks siege up on the other side of the minerals, but this gives him another chance to kill some more tanks that are on the right side, and just remaxing with 8 Vipers and 11 Hydras. I think this is the way to go. 3-3 is almost finished.
I mean, Losira was preparing for this big time. He knows what's going on here in the late game, and just taking out that planetary is huge. And look at this. Bunch of tanks out here. Losira not going to notice.
Yeah, I think he probably didn't want to engage that long term, but he could have killed a tank or 2 before they sieged. Okay, a lot of Vikings going to go down here, but this base is going to be forfeit. INnoVation's army is still too strong. He's gotten a good position. He's wedged himself between the army and the base. And it looks like it's time for Losira to maybe rotate some drones up to the northern base, the 12 o'clock expansion. Consume hardcore. All these Vipers going to have a ton of energy here. We have Behemoth Reactor ready for battlecruisers. He's now getting the weapon refit, but he hasn't made a single battlecruiser yet.
Yeah, kind of interesting for now. Here are the big pulls. There's still a ton of Vikings in the air, doing a big number on all these Vipers, but he is getting a decent amount of pulls here, but I'm not sure if that trade was really worth it.
I'm okay with it. He killed a lot of Vikings. The question is, can he stop the follow-up push? Because now they're going to start hitting the mineral line that's exposed here. Drone's already evacing. You can see it on the mini-map. See, they're all gone here. So lose mining here. He needs to get those drones up to the northern bases. But he killed a lot of Vikings. He's continuing to make Vipers. He has a bank. Well, he just spent it, to make those Vipers. But if he can keep INnoVation's bank down, that's how he's going to win this game. Could prevent him from being able to afford BCs. Turn around and hit those Vikings. Don't let them bully you.
Yeah. Kills that Forbidden Hatchery, goes down. Not going to be mining from that base. And INnoVation once again looking to attack here. But again, a ton of Vipers coming out here. He's sucking out that energy. And he will be prepared for this next fight once again. 22 tanks, though, going to be the big number here to take down.
Yeah, it's almost like he's preparing for a switch to Broodlords once he eliminates some of these Vikings. But, oh, God, this is going to have to be a really good pull. 2 Thors will get pulled. He grabs a few siege tanks. Well, the Hydras are just wrecking anything that comes into range.
Gonna grab a couple tanks here, but there's so many tanks left where that's from. So many of the Vipers went down just pulling Viking after Viking.
Yeah, I feel like if he could have grabbed a few more tanks, then maybe he could have killed the Vikings after that, but This is just too good zoning that we're seeing here from INnoVation.
Yeah, either that or maybe some blinding clouds as well. He's going to go for some now, but still so many Vikings remain in the air.
He's killing a lot of them here, but, you know, INnoVation's still in a good position. Oh, man, this is a really hesitant fight here. Oh, my God, that was horrific.
The meat grinder, the Zerg grinder, there it is.
That was horrific, seeing all those Hydras die, man.
Now INnoVation, he has held this position, which is quite fantastic. He can use this giant wall, shoot over it, take out all these evolution chambers. Viper going to have to suck from the hatchery.
If INnoVation didn't have all these CCs all over the map and all that extra mining plus the gold base, I'd be a little bit more worried about this forward push because of Losira's economy. But Losira just still can't outproduce him. He's making 3 tanks, 4 hellbats, and 4 Vikings at a time. You know, he's got production out the wazoo, and all he has to do is continue to zone these Vipers. You know, like you said, every few abducts, it's cool to kill a few of those siege tanks, but if he loses every Viper every time he does this, it becomes too expensive.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be a terrible engagement.
Look at all these tanks fanned out in the perfect concave. He's trying desperately, but there's no blinding clouds. He doesn't have the economy to make enough units to fight against these tanks, and it looks like that's going to be a GG. INnoVation going to take game number 3.
Losira just lacking some patience there in that game and overcommitting to some fights with his Vipers. And there you go. INnoVation lost to Biel, but he's going to beat Losira. Now takes the 2-1 lead for SKT.
Yep. Don't forget that very early game push that he went for, the 2-base hellbat timing that Losira kind of misread, was not prepared for, sustained a lot of damage, and INnoVation was comfortably able to get into that late game.
Well said. You know, that was definitely how things started off there.
And guess what, Wolf? Because Gumiho was able to win that game, we are going to get to see Dream versus Blaze coming up next.
Yep. And